Hello.
Hi, I'm here with Cass. Cass Thomas, mi amore, from Italy. Ciao,
Hey,
Bella. How are
Glenna
you?
Rice. Hello. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. It's in a time of change.
Whew.
Is it ever not a time of change?
No, change is kind of consistent.
It's the only consistent thing, change.
But this
Exactly.
kind of change kind of went over like the chart. It's like when the charts go, this is like the change that's like huge. Yeah, and we're here and we've been doing this for what? The COVID change has been going for a while now. I thought like a couple months back in what March of 2020. And here we are a year and a half later almost.
Yes, or maybe 1,000 years later. Who knows?
Right. And every day is still more change. Like the news says one thing and this other thing, and you start changing your reality so it works for you with all the other stuff going around it.
Yeah, and making sure, I mean, I'm so grateful to be always engaging with bodies, right? And inviting the mind to give precedence to the body so that the body can actually keep us in line with what our vibration is, you know?
Yeah, the body
Yeah.
knows. Like I just did a call, the body's the key. Like it has so much awareness that can gift us, and so much about this year, this change we're talking about, like bodies. It's bodies that are being affected. Like your whole lives are being affected too, but it's truly, and there's this that who does it belong to thing we speak about and acts like it. Is it yours or someone else's? But the number of beings, bodies, whatever, that are buying into it and are terrified or worried or saying, oh, it's not a big deal, and ignoring and all of that stuff. And what is actually true for a body, for your body? What's actually true? What does it know that could actually create more than just ease with this year and the future that's popping up, but actually greatness, like a greater
And the
way of
way
being.
the different ways that the body communicates, if communication routes are shut down or are, channeled or funneled, then how can the body communicate beyond those? So it may show up in a very different way every time. If you keep connecting and asking, right? What is this? The other day, right? Okay, I've been living in the same house for like 20 years. The other day was
Beautiful.
walking, I go out on the balcony in the morning, off the bedroom, and like just get say hello to the sun, really. And so that you sometimes you wake up and you're already in your mind and you're already like, okay, I got to do this. And it's like, I insist to go outside at least for a moment because you can't really be outside in nature and around trees and with the sun and keep the mind going only, so just
Yeah.
allowing the mind to drip. Can I tell you, Glenna, that I was watering this little plant, right? This little tree. And I went around to the side. I looked in a direction toward north from an angle that I had never seen before. It's a small balcony. I mean, it's not like that I had never seen before. And it's like, so when you're really connecting with your body, right? And you get, okay, let me move a little bit more to the right, let me move a little bit more to the left. What new perspective can you see the everyday life from? It was amazing. I took a picture, I did a video. I was looking in a direction, right? And it's the very angle of this balcony that I had never, ever seen before. So what is it, right? That if we're really connected and giving that time, especially in the morning, to our bodies, what is the direction our bodies will give us to look from that will open up a whole new reality for us, you know? I'll send you the picture for sure. And I'm seeing you from a different angle, like you're not moving, but you look so beautiful. Are you frozen? Yes. Oh, I guess she's gone. So I'm recording now. Wow. So what's the different perspective, really, that we can see life from if we are willing to just ask questions, and receive that response from our bodies, that it's an intuition, it's a knowing, it's a really it is a congruence, a continuity of engagement with your body. And the body is connected to the planet. I mean, that's why we're living here, because we have bodies, right? And so, what connection with the planet, with your body, and with all the elements on the planet can you and your body be so that your mind can be a contribution to you, right? And you can expand your awareness beyond the problems or things going on in your life and not be on lockdown inside, right? And also expand that even toward the universe, right? What's going on with the planets? What's going on with the stars? What's going on with the sun and the moon? Yeah. And this is a period where our bodies are asking, please be there with me. I've been there with you all your life. Would you be willing to now be there with me? And there it is. My question that got Dr. Rice back. Is it our bodies are asking us now, please be here with me. I've been here with you all this time. Are you willing to be here with me now? The bodies are asking. And Dr. Glenna Rice came back to get me back.
Came back. I came back at full internet. Yeah, and you were saying something beautiful about being outside in the sun and everything.
And then you came back like the sun. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that inviting people to what are the ways that people can connect with their bodies in a really easy way in the morning, or in the middle of the day when you know you're tense, you're trying to fake it. I've done it. You're trying to
Yeah.
be like, no, 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 I'm not in control. I'm not doing control. I'm not doing control. I'm just, you know.
Like I just was with trying to get back on this. Like, and my body had to get me back on because it had to click the buttons and look at the things and check the internet and find my personal hotspot and get internet working. And it was my body touching buttons, and it's our body that creates all these things. There's such a strange way we pretend isn't our bodies are not with us and being with us and creating with us with everything we do. Sitting here in front of a Zoom, our bodies are sitting here. Everything they do, everything they be all day long, they're with us and creating with us and creating our magic lives and putting up with our crazy lives. And sometimes they have the awareness and the knowing to pull us out of those moments. Like, body, what do you know? What
Absolutely.
body? I mean, sometimes it's like, body, what do you require right now? Because it's tense right now. It's panicky right now. Things are weird. Things aren't working. Body, what do you know, or what do you require to help change this? Sometimes
Right.
it'll be just like, stand up and walk around the house for a couple minutes. Go out on my beautiful deck and just sit there. Just sit. Sometimes in 30 seconds, and your body has, like, guys, your body has changed everything.
Exactly. It did, and the more the continuity with which we do that, right? The quicker that comes. And what if and you I like that you said, body, what can I do for you? What do you require? What body, how can you help me? this is what came to me when you said that, buddy, how can you help me to not be so focused on the mind,
Yeah.
or on the tension, or you know what I mean, or something. Because if and for me, it's like always in the chest area, the solar plexus area. If there's not that movement, that flow, if it's just like inside, it's like, okay, what if we're dedicated to that? If I am making I am making the choice, I am making the decision, I am making the commitment at any time. Exactly. Just now,
Yeah.
anytime it's not so expanded, I'm gonna ask something. What does it take?
What's it take
What
to
does it
change?
take? What is it? What is required? What can I do? What can I be? What?
I
Just the
love
what?
what.
What?
What? Body, what is this? Body, what? What is this? What
Yeah,
is it? And what's going to take to change it? Getting the clarity on it just by saying, what is this? You open up to the clarity to start being aware of what it is that's creating. It's probably not yours, or probably not
exactly.
something that's relevant, or maybe it's a little relevant and you just need a little information to change it. And that question, what? Geez, what? What is it? Oh my gosh, what else is it? What can we change here? It's so simple.
Alarms, alarms.
I adore you.
It's been and that any, like you said, any tension, anything that is not giving you that ease is probably an awareness, right? Of somebody else's or something else or what's going on. And we've been talking for the last years in Access about changing tracks, right? The
Yeah,
whole world changed tracks. However, which track? Is it like the Harry Potter, you know,
yeah, I like this.
you know, going into that track? So it seems like people will be totally functioning um, on and I want to say on different dimensions, on different tracks, and on and being willing to be aware of all of them,
And
and
which will create more for you. And how many more
exactly,
can you change, or can you have them all?
exactly having all as possibilities, right,
Yeah,
and choosing the track that'll create more, and that gets you in less resistance, doesn't it, to other people,
yeah.
you know,
And
there's
less resistance. Ugh, that is so
oh,
generative to not be in resistance. And resistance is so popular here. To fight it, to hate it, to not want it, and to not be in resistance generates. To have allowance and no resistance, and not even align. Not there's like aligning and agreeing is a resistance too. You just aligned with it, which is you're totally aware of what you were resisting. It's not the same thing as being an allowance. It's just that's what it is. What do you want to choose? What do you want? Your life. What train track do you want to be on today that's going to create the most? And you think about
absolutely,
the subways that we've been on trains. We've been on trains in Italy. We've traveled with you on trains. It's a big jumbo place where you go to the train station. There's trains going everywhere. What train's going to create the most for you? And if that's not the train, can you just go on this other one, and the next one, and the next subway, and get a bus or taxi? Where would
absolutely.
you? Yeah, where would you like to go with your future?
Now, I love this that you talk about the aligning and agreeing, because it may be, light and, you know, uh, quote unquote positive for you in that moment. Just not going away, right, allows you to know when it's no longer that way, and which other track can you choose at that moment. Okay,
I
maybe
like that.
yes, yeah. So that they're all options, and it's and this allowance is so interesting, because it doesn't force you to either resist or react or align and agree. It's just an interesting point of view.
And
So it might be, yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, I think I'll change it now. Okay.
what a tool for this year when the whole world is resisting and reacting or aligning and agreeing. Like that is so prevalent. And every time you would look at any news article or TV, that's where everyone's at. Is all in those polarities. And it's like, no, yeah, this is what's being created on the planet right now. How do I outcreate it? How do I play around it? How do I use it to my advantage? I mean, weirdness, like this is my weird brain. People start talking about, long COVID. And I'm like, ooh, patience. Just like how many of those people are going to want to come and see me, come to classes, change their relationship and their relationship with their body.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of the spending. We spend so many times with inviting that, so much time inviting people to that change. It could be very interesting also, almost like in Italy, they call it telegiornale, the news, right? Okay, what is the topic today that people are aligning and agreeing with or resisting and reacting to? Let's go, you know? So it could be, COVID. It could be the vaccine. It could be, women or men or, black or, Asian or, you know what I mean?
Right.
What today is the topic,
I
doggies or, you know what I mean? That
I don't
people
even
are,
know what it is today, but I'm sure COVID and vaccine are probably in there somewhere.
that's a
I think,
continuity. And then there's those little ones that come up, but it's
yeah,
interesting. It could be just an article, a way that someone is approaching a topic. But even, I don't, well, we'll play with it a bit because when you identify the topic as something that people are aligning and agreeing with or resisting and reacting to, it actually opens up the space of allowance, let's say, or clarity, or wow, okay, when somebody starts talking to me about this, I won't be taking on their point of view because I know that points of view are what, you know what I mean? And
but they limit. Your point of view doesn't let you see anything else that doesn't match it. So you either have to align with it or you have to react to it. And if you can't have all points of views, it's just, oh, those are interesting. Well, that's an interesting point of view. That guy said, that's another interesting point of view. What's actually true for me?
exactly,
What's
exactly. And as soon as the topic comes up, the chlorine they use in pools. Oh, sometimes if the topic comes up and it's like, wow, what's going on with the chlorine they use in pools? And the information you get and first hearing it influences the way you see it. But if you've heard that that's the topic of the day, you're like, let's see which of the many different perspectives I'm about to hear right now.
yeah.
And so it's actually the way that you approach the subject is not that the subject approaches you. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
I like that. I
I
like
do too. I do
the
too.
way you
It's like,
approach the subject with just listening to the points of views, seeing what's light and true for you. Like, what's true for you feels light. If they're talking about something and you're going, "Ugh," maybe it's not true for you.
because also the way that someone actually
Present.
presents
Yeah.
can be really quite, convincing, right? However, if you, so that if it's the first time that you're hearing a new topic about that subject, then you might just say, of course, that makes total sense. Oh, I cannot believe that that's happening,
Yeah.
right? Or, of course, why doesn't anyone agree with it? It's perfect, right? But if it's like, oh, this is one of the topics that's on the dashboard today, and you
And when
might go,
and that yeah, and that convincing talker, your logical brain will love that and love to align and agree. Oh my God, it makes so much sense. Catching yourself saying that in your head can kind of be a clue in that maybe you're buying someone else's point of view. Instead of you say, wow, okay, he's saying a lot of cool stuff, but is that true? Is that light? Does that actually expand my world? Does it make me feel like, oh, wow? Or is my logical brain going, oh, yeah, A plus B does equal C in his world? And he explains it so well. How could it not
absolutely.
be what's going on?
And that asking the body, oh, this is one of those topics. So truth, is this a point of view? Or is this an awareness that they're communicating? And the body will let you know, awareness. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
And
then the moment, and like we were saying, it, once you get an awareness, don't um, don't lock it into a conclusion. Stay present, and you'll get more and more awarenesses in each every 10 seconds, right? And
it may
sometimes we
just be
get an
little
awareness, and now we make it a fact.
conclude. And then once you conclude, it's the same thing. You can't see anything else. But someone may be speaking about something and maybe just one little tidbit that actually is the information that's going to give you clarity around something or create more for you or change something that's been in your world that you didn't know how to change. It wouldn't be the whole point of view and the whole conversation, but it may just be little off phrase statements someone says. And
Yeah, it's
and
not
to
always
get better at
comfortable.
that,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
oh, just to get better at that clarity of what true is, what is true for you, what that is, and how you perceive that. And I mean, for me, a lot of the perception of that is my body. It's not just my body, but my body will, that's true. It will just have more space, a different vibration in the space where it's like, yeah, yeah,
And
that's
having
it.
having comfortability with staying present is really this continuity of engagement with the body. Because some people are like, "Oh, just give me the answer, so I don't have to still, be here and open to receiving all this information, and just give me the answer so I can move forward with that." Well, what if there are no answers? What if it's that no conclusions? What if it's just what is popping and is perhaps in that moment, it is the universal truth. And the moment everyone starts engaging with it, it transforms. So
Yeah.
stay present can be fatiguing sometimes for people if they're trying to figure it out, right? Do you know that? Like not
Oh,
having any point of view, just being present, everything, you're receiving everything, you're aware of everything, and you can't stop it because the moment you stop it and lock it in, then you start closing down your
you.
doors of possibilities. Yeah.
And you're no longer present. When you're trying to figure something out, you aren't present. And
Yeah.
that is exhausting.
And in business too, sometimes we have to buckle down, buckle down, spend the time to go through that flow, create the flow, go through the flow, adjust the flow, have a 360-degree vision, and be completely present with it. And it's faster because if instead you're resisting it, it's like, oh my God, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, instead of,
The change can come, the information can come so, I mean, yeah, much faster than that. And sometimes it's the like kind of the cogs in the wheel start turning when you ask the question, and it takes a while for everything to show up and get to you. But if you stay present and aware, the questions you're asking, what you're wanting to create, what you're hoping to change and asking to change, then you don't have, it doesn't have to be exhausting because you can perceive it's all working out there to give you the clarity or to show you what you have to do or be different to change it. And that can be exhilarating instead of exhausting. That can actually be energy that creates more for you and feeds your life in the creation. I mean, we want this answer now, we want it figured out now. And sometimes it's not now. Sometimes the question and the ask creates it happening. And what needs to transpire to have it show up is going on.
and giving you
And
that information that you may be missing. That,
yeah,
you're pinging that information that you may be missing. Do you write down the question?
do I write down sometimes I write questions, sometimes I got little notes in my phone. Sometimes I just have questions that are just there that I recall
Right.
that are there when I require them, and I ask a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, yeah.
Take to be out of control, out of definition, and out of linearity. That one,
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. It's like if there's something that you're um, wanting to have more awareness about, and you ask a question about it, even something as simple and as what is it that I can choose today that will create more ease,
Yeah.
joy, and glory in my life right away. But also, what do I do with this particular project? What do I do with this particular meal? What do I do with this particular relationship? What do I do with this, you know what I mean, particular bank account, and there's no awareness that comes to you. However, you have activated it.
Yes.
And sometimes you might forget that you've asked it because maybe it's not even relevant anymore. However, it becomes clearer to you. But do you ever write it down? See what that's like, because and then go back like a week later and say, oh wow, I already took care of that and didn't have the
I have,
awareness.
at times I have. I've written like the house I live in right now. I found a piece of paper I had written down maybe 6 or 7 years ago about what I wanted, what I desired in a home. And one of the things I wanted was a pool, but this place is a hot tub, so it's a small pool. And other than that, everything that I was asking for is here. So yes, I have written some of my asks down.
Cool. And
Left
it
them.
never shows up the way you think it is. That's so awesome. But you've got a hot tub. Hello.
I know. Hello. And I love it.
Hello.
I love it. Yeah. It
Yeah.
my body. Oh, it's one of
Yeah.
those gifts that my body and my body tells me when it desires it. It's not every day, but there's days I just go, yep, I'm going in there tonight. Body, we're going in there. And it's like, I require
And
that.
even having it around, right, is also, what contribution is that? Having the water around like that, also. And who will show up that it'll rock their world and that maybe some contribution you've been waiting for,
Yeah.
or that's been waiting to come to you. It's like, oh,
My
wait a minute.
daughter, I was gonna say my daughters have had some wonderful evenings with their friends over that they went out in the hot tub afterwards. And I was like, look at that. Look at who gets to enjoy this.
Enjoying, yeah. So the body, what are the many different ways, right, that the bodies, yeah, give us information and ease, something so that you may not think it has anything to do with the body, but everything actually, um, that
Yeah,
you are doing or being, right, the body can contribute to.
there is. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
And
glad we have a body. I mean, we knew one another without bodies, I'm sure.
not without bodies, not anytime soon. Like in the body. Like in the body.
But I'm really enjoying it too. Yeah.
And
What
the body's
invitation.
awareness is so much a part of being. Like what the being on this planet, having a body, being embodied on this planet, the body's awareness, like without it, you aren't actually aware. There's only that you're missing this massive piece of what being is and what awareness is without listening, acknowledging, and relishing, being grateful for what my body tells me about the world every day. That whole thing we were saying, what? Like what body? What is that?
I
What is that?
love that relishing. When you
Yeah.
said it, body was like, ooh, relishing. I
I
love relish too.
yeah.
And I don't get it that much.
A good hamburger. Yeah. But we've spent so much time in this reality ignoring the body or just pretending what it knows is pain or uncomfortable or ignoring it. But I like, and I lived that life for many years on this planet. I lived where I kind of ignored it or made it work, pretended it wasn't so bad, and I'd get through it. And now I don't even know how that I could function that way for so many years. Because
Yeah.
every tidbit that it gives me contributes to something.
It's
You
a
know, I
really different way. When you were swimming, when you were doing your swimming, was the body included? Were you
yeah,
ignoring it?
swam.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I did synchronized swimming, which is now called artistic swimming. I have just found out in the new Olympics. It was last week, and I watched a couple of them. They changed its name. Yes, I was, because it was kind of my place and time for my body. But if I'd had what I know now, I would have been very different. It would have been really, I mean, I swam, was pretty high level competitive.
Yeah.
It, if I, body, what would it take to go faster? What would it take to move higher in the water? Those kind of questions I didn't have. It was just training with the coach.
Yeah.
I also would have had so much more ease with my coaches because they weren't that nice.
And what kind of coaching can we be also in contributing to athletes?
Yeah.
You know, because I've been doing a lot of tennis, and every every advice that you hear, for me, it's very much also connected with the body, and with life in general. So there
Yeah.
was someone who stepped down from doing the Olympics because
Right.
not comfortable in the body,
She
and I
got
was
the
like,
twisties.
what
She got
what
the
kind
twisties. That's what they were
what
called.
contribution could it be to that, because
Yeah.
competition can be healthy,
Hmm.
competition, especially in sports. However, you've got to be connected with your body when you're doing that.
And the
And
question of creating what it's creating for your future. I mean, I work with many, many athletes, and often there's things they're not looking about their future and their body, and their body's actually contributing to the future that's actually going to create the most for them, and they're not listening. When they go and compete or are training and something happens with the body and their training stops or changes, or they have to look at it completely different. And most of the time they look at it as this horrible thing. And I always go, oh, cool. What did your body just show you? Okay, you just twisted your ankle 6 weeks before a competition. Do you actually desire the competition? Yes or no? Like, what's true? Totally different treatment if they say, yeah, I totally do. Okay, we got 6 weeks to get this back in shape. Everyone says it'll take 3 months. I said, no, we got 6 weeks. Your body would like to do it. What's possible? Or actually, I never wanted to be in that competition anyway. Cool. Let your body heal. Thank it for getting you out of it. And what do you want to do next?
yeah, and it's so great. It's always a delight engaging with you too, because we have uh, such an awareness about bodies and such an invitation to bodies, and it's on many different levels, with the access body processes that we do, energetic invitations to the body, with this energetic manual therapy that you've created and started, that is really, like getting people's bodies physically, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Moving them. Also, you've done therapy for years. And so always engaging with you for so many years, hosting you, working with you, coaching together with you.
creating with
You
you,
work on my body, as
facilitating with you. Yeah,
working on, doing me doing lifts on you. And um, that 360 degrees from which, and even from a mental, you know awareness, sharing your experiences too, or our experiences, and those maybe four different ways of approaching bodies. Let's just say four: northeast, west, south. What can we actually gift to people with that?
yeah.
uh, how would you, quote unquote, explain the four approaches to that are really 360 degrees that you have?
The approaches to bodies.
Yeah,
Uh, well,
because the energetic thing is different than that EMT, or that
right.
physical therapy that you do, or you know what I mean.
And
I've
there,
got my EMT manual right here too. I'm just saying.
cool. You're
You want
so
to
cool.
see it?
Thank
You want to see it?
you. I believe you. Because
Okay.
yeah, I'm thinking of like the four approaches. There's a million approaches, and there's the approach of being a question. I would say is the approach I am. What does this body require? Oh, you do have it right there, the manual.
I just cleaned everything out of my space
That's so
here,
cool.
but I didn't clean this.
It was popping. It's coming back. I mean, we can touch bodies again. We're starting to get to, I mean, this last year and a half, it's been like screaming at me.
Yes, I
And
know.
and with the patience the classes had too, knowing that it was not the
Right.
time.
Yes,
And
but so what I
people,
want to ask you this, I want to ask you this, I'm interrupting you, I want to ask you this, because it is very different, because there's a communication we can be, me, I work with communication anyway,
yep,
with everything, right? There's a communication we can be, even mentally, let's say mentally, with our minds asking questions, body, 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 and really, it's really profound, and you know what I mean, connecting with the body like that, verbally, energetically,
yeah,
and physically,
yeah,
yeah. So I mean, that's what I meant by those different
yeah.
approaches, whichever one is required, that giving people the tools to be able to do them all. So that's what I was asking. Yeah.
And all of them are always required. Like, there's not a time when it's just the physical without the energetic. And the question, I'll say the mind is like the question, like the questions you're being, and that physical, the touch the body's receiving, whether it's actually physically or energetically touched, and the energy that the body is, and then the physicality of the body, of how it is constantly generating and creating and transforming, and how you can guide that with a question, show possibilities that it can choose with a question, get out of your way, get out of your body's way so your body can choose what else is possible with the questions you ask. Like, what would you like to change your body? What else is there? And those are kind of blanket questions, but like I mentioned, the dancer, this was actually someone I worked with. And it truly was, she was not going to be able to compete in 4 weeks. Everyone said no way with the sprain she had. And all of those things, like being a question with her, showing, which would be like, I want to say it's kind of like the mind. You're like putting questions out there. What do you want? What can we change? And how are we going to change it? And getting information and physically being with the body, but having her physically be so present with her body that it would receive. We got a lot of receiving and being in here. So maybe we got a fifth one, the fifth element. What's the sixth? Someone just mentioned that movie, and I totally want to watch it again. The fifth element, which is like there's all these things you have to have for something to actually occur, and if you don't have everything there, it's not going to work. Like you need to have all these things present to really create the change we're asking. And yeah, she competed. Her ankle medically was not going to be able to do it, and I can't remember if she did. Like it was a team competition, and she was there and she performed and was thrilled. And she also changed her whole career as a dancer. She realized that really wasn't the area she wanted to go into. She was going off to college. She's probably it was 10 years ago. But I so distinctly remember the no in everyone's universe, the no that the aligning and agreeing with this wasn't possible, and her resistance and reaction and tears of that, and me saying, okay, well, this is what do we want to create, without either of those points of views being there. Like, what can your body change?
Exactly. What is that hidden track that if you're actually willing to be aware that it exists, it will become clear before your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was being present that way every time I saw her with her, and gifting her the I mean, not telling her, but gifting her the possibility to choose it when I wasn't, like empowering her to know that she was the one changing her body was changing, and she was working with it to change. It wasn't being done to her. So that presence of the body you wrote about, and the
Absolutely.
creation with your body.
Absolutely. So what is it? Yeah, whatever is going on with your body that, also without judging it, knowing how you've created it, and what even if it seems like a limitation, right, or a defect, what is it that it is contributing, and what is it that you truly like to change? Is it that, or is it something else so subtle? Yeah.
I love that. If this isn't a problem, what possibility is here we haven't acknowledged?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love
And
talking.
and how is this, how is right? How is this, considering this problem, distracting you from those the possibilities you could be giving so much attention to that you're giving to this, which you have identified as a problem.
Oh, the
You're
problem will
giving
just suck you away. Like problem.
absolutely.
Nothing like that. Sometimes the first thing that I, before anything, is like to shift the point of view and to let someone see that this may not actually be a problem. It may be a possibility.
Mamma mia. So much I can just almost tears in my eyes because, in the last 24 hours, I've got like 4 examples of that. So what is the, so
All
the
day
gift?
long.
Yeah. So what is the gift that when don't go away? Don't go away, right? Just don't go
Yeah.
away. Yeah. And resistance, if resistance is showing up, know that maybe the change you've been asking for, and you may not have articulated, right? But the
Yeah.
change you've been asking for is trying to come in, is trying to, begin.
Yep.
So that reaction, that resistance, that annoying, that feeling,
Yeah.
"Ah," okay,
You never had
what?
that.
What is this? Okay, is this a change that I'm asking? Okay, am I willing to take 10 seconds, a breath in, whatever, and
It's
look
so
at it from
funny you say that because I woke up just like that. I got some things and they're pressing on me and they're requiring me to do a lot, right? And I woke up just like grumpy. And I walked through the house and I'm like, hey, everyone, I'm grumpy this morning. Don't talk to me very much. I'm just grumpy. I'm not going to go break anything. I'm not going to yell very loud, but I am just grumpy right now. This is a grumpy morning. And I don't even know what, but just kind of acknowledging the grumpy and going, okay, I don't want to be this all day. What's it going to take to change it?
yes,
Something silly. I saw something funny on TikTok. My mom came out. She lives with me and started making coffee, and he was gone. The grumpy
yeah,
was gone, and the information that was kind of, that I required that I didn't have yet that was kind of creating the grumpiness was there.
the change, exactly. So when you're, and that's the being present with it,
Yeah,
instead of, because then it just extends so long and it's mediocre, right? Are we willing for 10 seconds to be fully grumpy?
yeah,
Fully,
yeah.
not like mediocre grumpy, like
I
grump.
was
Hello,
grumpy.
I'm grumpy. Da, da, da. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, that was fine. Now what? What's next? What's
yeah.
next? Yeah, yeah.
I
And
gave
the
my grumpy a little pat on the back.
and is that actually the reaction sometimes to what the body's communicating to us? There's an energy that's changing, it's transforming, and our reaction to that shift can turn out grumpy. But if we use that question, what? What?
What is it? But having allowance. Like I didn't align and agree or resist or react to my grumpy. It was just there, and I was an allowance that I was grumpy, and I just kind of warned the people that live with me that I woke up grumpy. Maybe don't poke the bear right now.
Exactly.
Just avoid me. It will be easier on all of you, and it's not going to last for very long. Yeah,
And it's
because
so funny. People don't really have a point of view about it. They're like, oh, okay.
my mom's grumpy.
Yeah. And so that's such a gift.
Yeah.
Amore,
But,
where can we find you, Dr. Glenna Rice?
drglennarice.com, and easiest way to find classes that I got coming up is accessconsciousness.com/Dr. Glenna Rice, and you are
Yes.
Castoma, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Or accessconsciousness.com/Cass Thomas. Yeah.
It's great having names that are not everyone else has. We got
Yes. Yeah.
it.
Also, with, yeah, dancingwithriches.us, my new book.
Your new book, I have it.
Yes. And it's coming out in Spanish too.
You are a
And
communication maestro.
You were with me when in Paris when the first version came out in French. It was so amazing. I'm so
Yeah.
glad we were there together. Yeah. And my 3steps.us US. So I'm findable. Anyway, cassthomas.com is fine.
Just Google it.
And you can find me on Zooms and Facebook Lives with Dr. Glenna Rice, and hopefully sometime soon together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have been talking about this since before the whole lockdown, and I think the time is coming. I think we'll be
Yeah.
creating a body. I feel a body class coming. It'll be
Yes,
beautiful
yes,
on the
yes,
summit. So we
yes,
get to
yes,
hang
yes.
out with each other
New
for real.
York, we did New York, we did Paris,
Yes,
and we've done
those are
lots of
great.
Italy. So let's see
Yeah.
what's new, what's
I
coming
mean,
up.
my motivation just because I get to hang out with you for 3 days and change bodies and give people possibilities.
Yeah, and I mean, it's I love your awareness. It's it's not especially engaging, and your invitation, your clarity about when someone else's awareness is required. I love that. I just remember, so many times in Paris, even wait a minute, Cass, come over here. We need you, you know, and or in,
Your awareness is required because you have
yeah,
it too, because you couldn't recognize it in anyone. What you can recognize in someone else you have, which I
yeah,
recognized in you many, many years ago. And your
yeah.
ability to engage and communicate and the clarity of how you speak is something I aspire to. I'll have that. I will have that.
Chamore. See you soon somewhere around the world.
Yes. Okay. Mwah.
Uh,
Bye.
Bye.